know me? You know who I used to be? I don't remember. I've had amnesia for years. I don't know anything about my past. Please tell me, who was I? I have to know.
I'm sorry.
Shit! Fuck! Hell! Damn it, that hurt! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, God, I must have dozed off there. What the hell was I even doing anyway? Alright. I was watching that one anime, that one I gotta do a review for this week. What the hell was it again? Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today, reluctantly, to give you all a review on the anime Mnemosyne, or Mnemosyne. I don't know, do you pronounce the M in the title, or is the M silent? I really have no clue, and honestly, I could give two shits. So Finding Mnemosyne follows a woman named Rin, an immortal detective who solves various cases that are tied into each other and part of a much larger master plan that she's also involved in. It's pretty convoluted, kind of hard to follow, and by the end of it, guys, you honestly don't care. You really do not care what's going on in the story. Now, I was recommended this anime by our good friend and bane of my existence, Sloan, the female otaku. Thanks, Sloan. Thanks for making me watch this. But she's not the only one to blame here, as some of you voted for this anime to be one of the anime that I review for Horror Month. What the fuck were you thinking? What was going through your mind when you saw that title and decided to click on it and say, yep, that's the anime I want Tony to review for Horror Month? Like, seriously, were none of the choices interesting to you? That's the only one that stood out? That one alone? Come on, there were some good choices on that list, some more deserving anime. This is the one? Like, I don't even want to rant about this anime because I personally don't think it's worth it. And, you know, I'm just kind of dragging it out, but this anime is such a bore. It's so boring! Now granted, there is some good to be found in this anime. For one, the first episode is the strongest episode in the entire series and a solid introduction to this world. The animation in this episode was just atmospheric. It set the right tone, and it was bursting with intrigue and mystery. From the story to its characters, it sucked me in. I wanted to see more. I wanted to learn more. But ironically, the more I saw and the more I learned, the less intrigued I was and the more disappointed I became. Again, everything in the first episode was off to a good start. It had so much potential, so much promise. Where did it all go wrong? I mean, the characters were just interesting enough for me to care about, and their relationships were well defined, and I did feel a bond forming between them. The story was actually riveting. I cared about what was happening on screen. I was engaged with the story, and it was actually fraught with peril. There are moments, some intense moments in this episode that really captivated me. I'm like, oh my God, I might be in for a treat. I might be in for something awesome. And the episode ends on a rather satisfying note. If only the rest of the anime could be like that. There's this really fascinating feud that happens in this anime between Rin and this red-haired woman named Laura, where basically Laura was contracted to kill Rin, but because she's immortal, she can't die, so she would constantly come back and try to kill Rin, and Rin would try to kill Laura, but she's also sort of immortal. So it's just this battle of immortals that had so much potential, and honestly, that right there could have been its own series. Like, just have these two immortals go through time and just fight each other at any given moment just to see who's gonna come out on top. I would rather watch that than the anime that I watched. And the last good thing to take away from the anime is the voice acting, particularly the English dub done by Funimation, who once again delivers. I mean, that goes without saying. Their voice actors and actresses are always good at what they do, and they most certainly delivered here. The rest of the anime? Forget about it. It's not worth your time. I mean, I'm honestly baffled at how this anime self-imploded. This anime...
took a high dive in a low world.
Exactly, Daisy. I couldn't have said it better myself. The animation may not have gone progressively worse, but it damn sure lost that atmospheric vibe I felt in the first episode. When the second episode came around, I just didn't feel it. The tone felt different. The vibe felt different. And maybe it's because of the inclusion of the angels, as I felt like they were just silly and out of place. Maybe that's why, but it just was never the same after the first episode. And that goes double for the story and characters. Again, they were off to a good start, but gradually started to decline in quality with each new episode, and you start caring less and less and less and oh, I'm sorry, dozed off there again. What were we talking about? The main issue with the story after episode 1 is that it's devoid of any sort of weight, intrigue, or tension. In the first episode, the story had all three. There was a bit of intrigue as we're trying to learn who this random guy that Rin bumped into is. He seeks their help to try to figure out why he has no recollection of any past memories. Who is this person exactly? And they actually try to solve this case. We go on this journey with them. There's fraught with peril and intrigue. I mean, it just was riveting to watch. In the second episode, none of that exists, and we do learn who kind of like the main antagonist is, and that's not really the main problem, just knowing who the main antagonist is. But where's the threat? Where's the urgency? Why should I care? And the mystery aspect is pretty dull. Not only that, I'm not a huge fan of the time jumps. I felt like they were totally unnecessary. I mean, the time jumps don't really add much to the story. Just like, oh yeah, now we're 25 years into the future. Now we're 55 years into the future. Okay, so what? You could have just had like 3-4 years go by. It would have been the same thing. Tell me exactly what the time jumps serve to the story. What? To kind of show a little bit of the future and to have some of these characters grow older? It doesn't really matter if they grow older. That doesn't change anything. It just means that they're older now. That's it. And then we have the characters. My main gripe with the characters in this anime is that none of them truly go through any sort of growth. Their development is piss poor. You don't really learn much about them, nor do you really get any time to be invested into them so that when something bad happens, you actually care. There are multiple times where characters are in peril. Some shit is going down, and I'm staring at the screen like, why should I even care? I don't care about these characters. I don't feel the weight of this situation, and they're just not that intriguing enough for me to be attached to. Again, in the first episode, it started off with promise. You know, they seemed like genuine characters. And then, like, episode 2, it just felt like, oh, we're seeing the same character we saw in episode 1. And then in episode 3, we saw the same character we saw in episodes 1 and 2. They're the same characters from one episode as they are in the next episode. Now, to be fair to this anime, there is this one character that kind of goes through a growth and change. Like, she starts off as this hacker, then she becomes this priestess. And I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting, but literally, like one episode later, she's back to being a hacker again. So how much did she truly change? Not that much, honestly. And speaking of that, how did she go from being a super hacker to a priestess? The anime never takes the time to explain this. They never detail her reasons for abandoning hacking and all of a sudden becoming a priestess. It's just like, oh yeah, I was a hacker before, but now, years into the future, I'm a priestess. Deal with it. I mean, that honestly makes no sense. Why would she all of a sudden want to be a priestess? What was so bad in her life that made her say, I'm done with hacking. I want nothing to do with hacking. It's such a 180 on the character. And that's not growth, guys. That's not growth. That's just taking what a character was established to be and then just changing her into something else. That's exactly what it is. It's not really any sort of growth because we never really learned what led her to this point. She was never a really devout person throughout the anime. I don't see her just all of a sudden stopping hacking, just like, oh, I'm completely done with that life. No more hacking for me. No! Out of all the characters in the anime, Rin is the only one that I actually gave a shit about. but not that much. Just an inkling of a shit. I mean, she still was a pretty fascinating character. I cared about her journey, the turmoil that she faced. She was a badass, she was sexy, she had a fun personality. The character had something going for her, but I felt like they dropped the ball on the character, especially when it came to her development and seeing her deal and cope with some of the heavy shit that she had to deal with. Like, she deals with so much death in the anime, and at first you kind of see her cope with this, but the problem is, in the next episode, she just goes back to her default settings. She's the same character as she was in the previous episode. And it sucks. I would have loved to see her, like, cope with the loss, deal with the loss. And it doesn't help that they would fast forward, like, 10 years into the future, so we don't really know how she really dealt with it, how she coped. Did she, like, go on a journey? Did she have sex with somebody? No, you got no idea. You're just like, yup, we're moving on. We're done with that character. You know, Rin's gonna go back to what she used to be. No, you missed the mark, anime. You missed the mark. Seeing our main character trying to cope with the tragedies that she faces makes the character multi-layered. It makes her interesting. It makes her relatable. It makes her empathetic. We end up sympathizing with the character and latching onto her, being invested. The fact that you totally just sideline that and don't even show us any sort of, like, turmoil that the character's facing, it doesn't really make us sympathetic to her plight. It just makes it seem like she never really gave a shit to begin with. And I know that wasn't the point. I know that it did have a profound impact on her, but we have to see it. We actually have to see it, guys. And the ending, it's all this fucking mumbo jumbo hullabaloo, the thing of brouhaha, I gotta bring Rin here because she's gonna be the next queen. She has to go into this egg thing. It was so convoluted, and at that point, I gave up trying to care. I gave up trying to figure out what the story was or where the story was going. I just was like, just please end. End already. I checked out 3 episodes ago. Overall, not gonna beat around the bush. This anime is a 1 out of 5 stars. It's an unnecessary waste of time. Don't go near it. Don't go see it. This was without question one of the dullest experiences with an anime I had all year. Come on, guys, what is up with all the anime that I'm reviewing for Horror Month turning out to be complete bore fests? But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all, be-all opinion when it comes to finding Mnemosyne. I'm sure there are some of you out there that enjoyed it, you loved it, you thought it was deep and profound and it meant something, even though it's not deep or profound and it wasn't trying to say anything thought-provoking. It's pretty straightforward in its presentation, but again, who am I to judge if you like this anime or not? So I would love to know, is there anybody out there that enjoyed this anime, they liked it a lot, or were you like me, found it to be a complete and utter shitfest of an anime, such a dull and forgettable experience? And let me know, what is the dullest experience you've ever had watching an anime? Comment below, let me know. Stay tuned tomorrow for the next Let's Watch Something. Got an interesting pick for that one. This Thursday, BCG Mail. You probably have another anime review coming out this weekend, and then a special anime review coming out next week. So stay tuned for all that. And until then, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Watt II. Just tired of all these crappy Horror Month anime. Come on, guys, seriously, give me something worthwhile to watch. Something scary, something memorable. None of the anime that I've reviewed so far have been scary or memorable. Something, please. Don't make this month be terrible, please. That's the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
Yes.